Everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Been a while since I've had a proper good rant, unless you watch the show on Monday night where I was very upset. I had a bad day. To be fair, it was Blue Monday after all, and I was a little bit knocked, but I'm also really annoyed about Newcastle United's inactivity in the transfer market. The sound of silence from the club is deafening, and every time you try and talk about it on social media, which should be called unsocial media, it's full of trainee accountants talking to you about PSR and FFP and all this other noise that goes on in the background. I'm seeing other clubs bidding for players, other clubs signing players, and they're wondering what the hell is going on with Newcastle United that they cannot even scrape money together to even get somebody on loan by the looks of it. It's absolutely abysmal at the minute, and I'm fucking sick of it, to be honest with you. Paul Mitchell came in on this crest of a wave of being best in class. He was swagging around the Benton training ground, knocking stuff off the shelves with his big dick of transfers, saying, look at me, I'm the man, I've done so much at Leipzig and Monaco and Spurs and Southampton and all sort of stuff. And everyone was really excited about him when he came in. Now, you can't blame him for the first window, because anything that kind of went wrong there was all to do with, I suppose, Dan Ashworth and the previous hierarchy of the transfer committee. But right now, Newcastle United, and certainly for the last two windows now, and this is going into the third window, have been absolutely shite in the transfer market. And what is the reason? We don't know. And why? Because they won't talk to us. And I don't understand why they won't talk to us. When this club was taken over, it was all about transparency and clarity and engaging with the fans. That was something Amanda Staveley and Murdoch were brilliant at. And then Darren Neals, when he came and said he wanted to talk to the fans, he was every opportunity there was a microphone in front of his face. I remember being at a True Faith talking, and him and Peter Silverson, I think it was, just appeared out of nowhere, got on the stage with a microphone and started talking. And I was thinking, wow, this is light years away from the Mike Ashley era when no one talked to anybody. And I'm not saying it's the Mike Ashley era again. You know, the league position doesn't lie. The quality of player that we have purchased since the takeover doesn't lie. But my God, what is going on with the communication from this football club? And why is everybody so happy with no communication and just utter silence? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I know Kool-Aid has been swigged by the gallon. At the minute, I'm thinking it's being fucking inserted intravenously into some of their veins, because nobody seems to be challenging this hierarchy whatsoever. And as I said on What's Going On, you don't need to have a 3-hour documentary about the transfer market or another Amazon fly-on-the-wall fucking show about it. You just need a couple of sentences here and there to say, we're looking to add to the squad. January is a difficult market. We've got irons in the fire, you know, and we'll see what we can do. Even something like that would do. And then if we don't sign any fucker in the window, come out, Mitchell, and tell us the reasons why. Just say overinflated prices, Newcastle taxes, not the right market, whatever it may be. But by the looks of it now, the only success we're going to have in this transfer window is going to keep hold of Dubravka till the end of the season, which is a good bit of business from the club, I must say. But even that, when you look at it, you caveat it with the fact that you leave for fuck all in the summer, and then you've lost money on a player there. We seem to have kept players. Now, I don't know who's to blame fully for this. I know you're not allowed to criticise him because he's done so well over the last few months, but is Eddie Howe not to blame for holding on to some of these players way past their sell-by date? I've always said it. I said it when I was talking to Kieran Maguire about football as well, and transfers and PSR and FFP and all the other shit that goes with it. You know, you keep a hold of Miggy Almiron past his purple patch. He's now worth 10 million if you're lucky. Callum Wilson, you get 10 million from if you're lucky. He's probably going to go for free in the summer because we don't want to sell him and no one's buying him either, because why would you buy a clapped out motor no matter how good it looks? You know, Sean Longstaff's regressing, Joe Willock's regressing. You know, Matt Targett has been the invisible man this season. Trippier's legs have gone. You know, all of these players at one time would have fetched you a decent transfer fee. Trippier's a prime example. So we had Tino Livramento coming into the team looking good. And I'm not saying Tino's a finished article, but reportedly Bayern Munich were wanting to give us 12 million quid for Trippier. I think Atletico Madrid were willing to give us 15 to 20 million for Wilson, but he didn't sell him. He kept them. You know, we could have sold those two and maybe invested in two better players, split over 5 or 6 years, 30, 40, 50 million quid players who are 6, 7 years younger than those players. And I'm not saying those players haven't been good for Newcastle. They've been absolutely fucking brilliant, but their days have gone. Why are we holding on to players way past their sell-by date? Holding on to players to the point where we don't make any money out of them. Yes, we're cursed a little bit with the Ashley era contracts, for Isaac Hayden, Ryan Fraser, those kind of mediocre players who signed massive deals for long term at the club and we couldn't shift them out. Yes, we're suffering a little bit from that. You look at someone like Aston Villa. It wasn't until I spoke to Mark offline the other day that I kind of understood. You know, Aston Villa sold a lot of players, you know, Douglas Luiz, some of the youth academy players for 20 million quid, Diaby for 60 million quid. Newcastle haven't sold any players. Now, of course, you look at it on the surface, you know, you don't want to sell Isak, you don't want to sell Gordon, you don't want to sell Bruno, you don't want to sell Tonali. But at the minute, you know, out of all those players, and I've said it before, Bruno Guimaraes is the one you could have sacrificed, but we wanted 100 million quid from him and nobody wanted to pay it. So we ended up keeping Bruno and making him the captain. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that because Bruno's a fantastic player. But when does this club look to invest and move forward and buy in the key areas? We know the right side of centre-half needs to be sorted. We know the right wing is needing to be sorted for the last 2.5, 3 years now. And I'm just thinking this window is going to go by with nobody added to the squad and possibly somebody gone in the shape of Miguel Almiron. You know, and then, you know, you got the likes of Young Murphy's gone out on loan. I think Hernandez has gone out on loan. All these young players were buying in that Eddie doesn't want to seem to give any opportunity to them. That bench we had at the weekend was absolutely lifting. You know, over 30s. Players well past their best, players were trying to sell, players who are never going to get a game for the club in the shape of Lacademos. And then the most exciting player on the bench in the shape of Louis Miley doesn't even get on the pitch. You know, what is going on there? It's really frustrating me. And I know a lot of the fans are happy with this continued silence from the club and it's trust the process and swig the Kool-Aid and all of that. But I'm sorry, if Newcastle United go into a third transfer window and haven't added a first team player to this squad, some fucking answers need to be given to the fan base. They owe them that. You know, I was watching the lads at 2 Review and I love the lads to bits, and Alex said that Mitchell doesn't owe us anything, and he maybe he's right in the purest sense, but when you sign the dotted line to come and represent a club in the shape of Newcastle United with the passionate fan base that they have, you know they're going to want to know what's going on. You know they're going to want answers. And that goes for all the huge fan bases out there, you know, Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, they all want to know what's going on. I mean, Chelsea sign a player every other fucking week. Sometimes they sign players from clubs that they own. I don't see the Premier League kicking off about that. Bullshit. These shit rules wrapping us up in red tape. We know it's the truth. PSR and FFP are designed to stop the Saudis from spending, make them bored enough so they sell up and fuck off. That's the Premier League's plan. But right now, Newcastle need to add to this squad at least one player because we're 1 or 2 injuries away from fucking this up. You know, dropping out the Champions League spots as well. And it's not good. It's a huge gamble from the club. We took it before and it didn't pay off. And I'm really worried that we're doing it again. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this transfer window. I'm stopping doing transfer videos. I said that the other day. I'm not doing any more rumour hazard videos because I just don't believe this club are going to sign anybody. If they do sign somebody, I'll be the first person on to do a video. Probably not that. I'll probably be doing a review of Adam Pearson, but I will be the second or third person on to do a transfer video. But I just don't believe this club is bringing any players in this transfer window. And for me, that's a huge mistake. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Smash like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. We'll catch you soon. Have a good one. Cheers.